Christmas cringe.
I'm the Christmas Groot.
Go ahead, do your YouTuber intro. Oh, nice guns.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Tank top Ian. Tank top Ian.
Come on, Dane. Come on.
I don't have a tank top.
No, tank top Ian.
Tank
Tank
top
top
Ian.
I thought you wanted me to take off
Okay.
my shirt to reveal a tank top underneath.
Ooh, wait, do the other
Holy
one again.
shit.
Oh my god, Ian! What the hell? You're jacked.
Yeah. Wanna know why?
Acting like I'm surprised, like I don't see my husband naked every day.
Hey.
To be in fairness, you don't see me naked every day.
I see you
that
naked
was
almost
concerning.
every day.
Whether
we don't
you
walk
realize
around
it or
the
not.
house naked. We don't do that.
Well,
There are people with families. I went to my friends' houses where their parents walked around naked.
that's sexual assault.
It's foul.
That's fucked up.
Okay. And yes, you're right. Okay, so the reason I derobed is because by the time this video comes out, if everything goes to plan, it will be 2024.
Yeah.
And 2024 is
Season of the gains.
Season of the Gains. Kind of
Yeah.
like Season of Discovery, but we're building muscle, fat, wealth. I don't know. A lot of things.
Ian's trying to get me hyped for bulking because I have a brain disease where I anytime I start eating more food than what I've allotted myself to, I have a panic attack. And Ian's trying to make me feel okay about gaining weight, fat and muscle, because bulking, you can't, even if you're clean bulking, you're always going to gain some fat, and there's nothing wrong with that.
It's perfectly normal, perfectly fine.
Ian's excited. He said he's going to gain 20 pounds of pure fat.
Dude, if I get over the 200-pound mark, I don't care what's on my body. I don't care what I have to achieve that. Holding in my
Piss.
whatever it needs.
You
Maybe growing my hair. I shouldn't cut my hair because that is going to contribute to the overall weight.
For the thing is, you're very muscular. You're 180 something pounds right now. And when I met you, you were 145 pounds. And he always talks like he doesn't have muscle. You have a lot of muscle on you.
I know. It's probably body dysmorphia.
Yeah, that does happen pretty often.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely appreciate it. Like when I'm in the gym and I'm looking at the full body mirrors, I'm like, this ain't the same.
Buckaroo.
This ain't the same buckaroo I remember seeing in the gym, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I remember Anisa getting me into lifting, and I was like, I remember bench pressing like fucking the bar with 25s, and that being like, oh, okay, that was good. And similar amount that we were deadlifting, not 125.
You used to only deadlift the bar. And that was like because your body wasn't used to, it's not that you can't lift that weight. It's
I've deadlifted more than the bar to start. That's insane.
The first couple of times,
I'm not Asmongold.
I'm not saying that you couldn't lift more weight, but your body wasn't used to hinging like that. So it was uncomfortable. So you have to start with the bar so your body can get used to it. It's not whether or not you can physically lift more. It's just that your body had never done that motion.
It's a good start.
You look like you're in bliss.
I am in bliss. I have my fucking muscles protruding. I just drank a big swig of this concoction that I made.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I asked Ian, I was like, are we having lunch before or after the podcast? And Ian goes, after. And then I walk up the stairs and he's blending this fucking mass gainer shake, which is like
Show the camera.
bananas, mass gainer, which is like in of itself like 600 calories per scoop or something?
No, it was like $5.90 per 2 heaping scoops.
Right. And then you put your fucking milk in there.
And olive oil.
And he's like, oh yeah, we'll have lunch after that. You're not gonna want lunch after that. That's like
I might. Dane, I think I'm going to need my thing to be turned down just a smidgen. Just because I can... It sounds like Anisa's screaming at the top of her lungs. You're not.
I
You're
am.
not. It was me.
I think
No, I was gonna say I've kind of noticed that it was getting into the red. Usually it doesn't get into the red.
Oh.
Just occasionally, whenever you'd go a little loud.
Right.
I'm passionate about.
Okay. Well, I respect that.
So we moved. I mean, you should acknowledge. I'll put it
that's
on the
true.
wide.
Oh,
I'll put
yeah.
it on the wide. We changed out the table.
Yeah, different table.
So we moved some microphones around, so it might sound a little different.
Yeah, and it probably looks like we're getting evicted or something. To go from that big long table to now this, hey guys, nothing different here.
Like our furniture's being repossessed.
Right. We have to just make it work. But no, we eventually aren't going to be in this space, and we just didn't like that other table. We're going to get a different setup overall, but I think this will be the table that we'll end with. A lot easier to move around. We can add a third right here. We can even add a fourth, and you can record the back of the fourth's head if we want to. So, yeah, a lot of options in the future. The future's looking bright on the podcast.
Because it is the season of gains.
Yes.
We're gaining new insight.
Loyal followers.
Oh, that's true. That is, okay, so the
New
things
guests.
for 2024, for me, my gains, right? One, allowing myself to bulk and gain weight. That's number one. Two, more followers and appreciators. That's what I want to gain.
Oh, forget followers. We just more appreciate.
More appreciators.
Okay.
And more wealth.
Yeah.
And
I like wealth is the worst way to describe it.
And because wealth could
I know.
wealth.
It's so vague. That's what all the fucking wealth gurus are always talking about.
Oh, and more cooking knowledge,
And cookware.
self-esteem.
Okay. I like that. Those are good things. Okay, so now it's time to ombuds. We're going to be ombudsing.
What do you want to gain?
Well, this is kind of like Thanksgiving, where we're saying what we want.
Yeah,
or what we're,
and then we'll ask Dane, because Dane is part of the Year of the Gains too.
of course.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to gain mass overall. This is kind of like my Mac moment.
Okay.
Want to gain mass of any variety. Want to gain less knowledge. What's the opposite of that?
Interesting.
Losing knowledge?
You want
No, gain more impulsivity. I want to gain more impulsivity.
to? Okay, I like that.
I want to gain more promiscuity. And I want to gain more drip.
Okay, so you want to be a promiscuous, impulsive little drippy boy
Yeah.
with big muscles.
Yes. I don't want to drip too much, though. Otherwise, that will affect my mass.
Oh, that
What?
because sweating, and he'll lose his bodily fluids, and then
Yes.
you'll have less mass.
I don't want
Oh,
to...
you were saying the literal drip.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
he wants to become a
I
drip.
thought you wanted to get better clothing.
Yeah, that too. All right, Dane, your turn.
I want to gain more haters.
Dane.
Well, because I
Okay.
saw a TikTok, someone said that if you don't have any haters, then you're not doing it right.
Oh, Eminem said that. I think.
Right.
Was it Eminem's TikTok?
That's
It was definitely a white person.
That is a white person thing to say. I feel like if you gain
But phrasing in that specific way,
That
it would be a
specific
lot more
way.
poetic if it wasn't.
no, saying like if you don't have any haters, you're doing something wrong.
Right.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
definitely a white person.
No, I think honestly, now that I'm remembering where I did hear that from, I think it was from somebody who was like scamming people, basically. So like that was a deflection of his criticism.
Okay.
Do you know what that reminds me of?
Smart.
What?
Matt Rife on Tana Mojo's podcast, where he's like, "Yeah, if people hate you, it's because they're jealous." And Tana's like, "Do you think do you think
are
Osama
jealous.
bin Laden or people are jealous of Osama bin Laden?"
Well, that's what I say a lot. Is that if you have haters, and they're probably jealous. But I
Don't-
think that's like not a rule.
Yeah, it's not like exactly a
It's
rule
just
or
it's just a
policy.
very high likelihood, I think.
Yeah, don't say that to Tana because she'll dunk on you with her Osama bin Laden.
No, I mean that's a good example of where it doesn't apply.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do still stand by that. I think that most people who are upset is usually because they're wanting something.
True, like a kiss from their favorite YouTuber.
Yes.
They just want a kiss.
Speaking of people who want kisses from their favorite YouTubers, we got some comments from the last episode. Basic Review says, I like the hot seat as well as this podcast and would watch both regardless of what channel they are on.
That makes me feel
We had a lot of people sort of, essentially saying the same thing.
Mm.
There were a couple of people who were diverging from that logic. But yeah, here it goes. Separating the different shows to individual channels is a good idea. For example, I love Hot Ones, but have never subscribed to First We Feast due to their other crap they upload. I've never been recommended a vid from their channel, but they're probably missing out on a lot more subscribers who only want Hot Ones. I hope this feedback is helpful. Love you guys. So this is like, I think that almost shows us that this is the right way to do it. If First We Feast is doing it the same way. If you want to watch that particular show, you're just going to go and click on it when you want to watch the new upload, or you're going to tailor your like
it's
your
like
algorithm.
what Dane was saying. Like that's how you use YouTube, right? Like
Right. First We Feast is a great example, actually, because I'm not subscribed to First We Feast, and I always get recommended the new Hot Ones videos because those are the only videos that I watch from them. And so it all just works out.
Right.
But
It's worth noting that it's not the biggest crime to have some of your YouTube real estate have some bullshit show up on it, right? Like,
I agree.
you know, just because you don't, I mean, it could be a lot worse.
Yeah.
You know? I've seen plenty of the First We Feast things where it's just like, it almost feels like behind the scenes type content with Sean Evans and some random celebrity or whatever. Yeah.
also, I do have a question for people who maybe are still sticking around and listening this far into the podcast for some reason. If you're using the subscription feed, how are you doing that? Because so many channels upload shorts which show up in the subscription feed that completely clutters the entire thing, and it's basically unusable now.
Yeah.
And that's a main reason why I've stopped using it, is because shorts are like not really videos, and obviously I don't think a whole lot of people are subscribing so they can see it only like shorts from people. So I actually just don't understand the logic. It's like, if you want to subscribe, usually that means you want to see everything that's uploaded, and you're basically telling YouTube, show me everything.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not like that you're using the subscription feed.
That's a
At
great
least
point.
That's not how I look at it.
Yeah, I think, how do you look at do you just go to that channel's like video area on their channel to find a new video?
If I'm
Or is
like,
it
I'm in the
sometimes-
mood for like RLM or something, I'll go to their channel and just scroll their videos. But usually if I'm just like, I just want to watch YouTube, I want to put YouTube on, I click the homepage and I just kind of scroll.
Interesting.
I think that's like,
I think that's what most people do.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's like literally what everyone does. So
Crazy.
crazy world we live in. You know,
Yeah.
we've been YouTubers for a long time, so it is different from what we're used to. But I think that it's like, honestly, it's a better system now that there's so much stuff on YouTube. Like, I'm sure that over time, like if you use YouTube for enough time, your subscription feed is basically just like you eventually just subscribe to like 1,000 channels and it's like nothing anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? YouTube should just show you what you watch usually.
Yeah, the subscription or the subscribing, I almost always do that exclusively just to say, like, thumbs up to this channel, like button for the channel.
But
Yeah.
it kind of sucks. I've noticed, like, it makes sense why some YouTubers, like, stop getting views because, like, I really liked this channel called Clever Style. And, like, it was a channel where, like, there was a group of women and they were hired. They had, like, producers and, like, it was, like, pretty high quality and they would try different, like, clothes and, like, different things. And I liked the personalities on there. And because I use the suggested, I don't use my subscription, like, those videos stopped showing up in my
Interesting.
video, like, suggestions. And then I stopped clicking on them. And then one day I was like, what the fuck? Like, what happened to Clever Style? And so I went and looked, and now they're only getting, like, 35,000 views a video. And they were getting, like, I don't know, between, like, 250,000 upwards on that. And now, like, because for some reason my, like, algorithm was like, okay, we're done with this. They suffer, and I feel like that kind of sucks because I would have kept clicking on it if it was there.
Yeah, I think they just need to fucking rework that whole thing.
Yeah.
Sounds like a
not
chicken
good.
and the egg situation to me, where it's like you weren't being shown their videos because YouTube's algorithm wasn't showing the videos to people.
Yeah.
It's like you weren't really a part of the problem. It was just YouTube's random,
Yep.
arbitrary AI decision to
which
fuck that
sucks.
channel. Yeah, I mean, everybody who is a creator is always going to be complaining about how they're always at the mercy of a robot.
Yeah.
You know.
Another person said, I would keep it all on this channel. Having steady uploads keeps it alive, and I'm not sure if you'd spread yourself too thin on 3 channels.
That's true, because it's 4.
Yeah.
Because you have your squirrel, the iDubbbz
I know.
TV too.
There's just like too many channels. And to be honest, like Dane's a part of this, and he's got his own channels to fucking worry about as well.
5, I guess, technically.
So, yeah, it is a genuine fear. We're not,
Yeah, and your Twitch as well.
Yeah, it's a lot to do.
Yeah.
So I do agree. It just makes things a little bit less complicated.
Also, I would like to apologize for assuming that people that watch the hot seat don't like me. It's funny, after I said that when we stopped the podcast, Dane was like, I have a feeling people are gonna tell you that you're being silly. Which is, I mean, it makes me feel better. I don't know why I have this assumption that
it's so hard because, it's just the loud people, man. It's
Yeah.
just loud.
So I'm sorry. If you're a fan of both, I
Yeah.
appreciate you for getting the vibe.
Someone said, I think Review Bra would be a great guest on the hot seat.
True. That's true.
Review Bra would be incredible to even interact with.
Yeah.
True.
But I don't know. That seems like a long shot.
Yeah. And then someone said, the gift wrap guy, Sam's Taylor.
Sam's Taylor.
That person has been covered on H3 because I was unsure about it, but they have done it. I think it was like a you laugh, you lose type game they did or something like that. And I think that's pretty much it. Oh, final comment was the only problem with the podcast is that it is too short. The first episode was 1 hour 30, and now it's only 1 hour. And that was just, that's just a sweet comment.
That's nice.
And we could, I think right now where I'm at with the podcast and the specific length is because we haven't really introduced, we're still finding our footing, and we're trying to, figure out the structure, the format, topics. And we do want to bring in a fucking TV so we can pull up things that we have particular interest in or play games or whatever. I want to make all that happen, and that will be much more suitable for an hour and a half, 2 hour long podcast, something like that. So,
well, it's worth mentioning to people that this podcast actually is closer to 2 hours long. It's just that that's the extended version.
And we get spicy.
We get so spicy in the extended version. But you won't know what that even means until you hop over there.
We talk about playing grab ass.
Yeah, we talk about playing grab ass.
That's such a gross. Playing grab ass is you only hear predators say that shit.
Yeah, well, every fucking old teacher would say that. Old military teacher.
Grab ass.
I retired from the military and went into teaching.
That's like an HR alert.
Yeah.
HR probably gets an instant alert when somebody says grab ass in the office space.
True.
And I do a bit of a live pitch of maybe to how we might format this podcast as we mess with it a little bit more. Maybe to judge the idea against the viewers as well.
Okay.
I think that obviously we're going to want to paywall something. That's just how you make money in this racket. And I think that paywalling the other half of it feels kind of bad, maybe. This is just my assumption. Maybe is oh, the podcast is over, but I don't want to pay for it. What if we just have and this would require us to record more, but what if we just had the regular sized podcast for free on YouTube, and then we record another one separately?
Oh,
After dark.
That way it's just extra
but not
content.
after dark, because after dark is
that way it's just extra. It's just you can have one podcast a week, or you can have two.
Okay.
Wow, that does feel like a lot of value. In my brain, that's working.
Yeah.
Right.
We'll call it before dark.
Now, if you don't want the audience to have any say on this, I will cut this part out at your request. But
No, I like to say.
Yeah, I
I'm not too afraid of what they have to say. What?
That was one of those moments. Ian, that was one of your accidental funny moments.
Right.
Like what happened with the real estate agent.
Really?
Yes.
What was funny about what I just said? I'm so clueless.
You just had like kind of like a funny confidence.
Yeah, it's the face and the tone.
Huh.
And I think it's because, and this is super interesting, Ian has no idea how he sounds to people ever. Sometimes he has to ask me after a fan interaction if he was rude because he like can't tell. So I think sometimes when you're delivering something and you're thinking more about the tone than you usually do, it can come off funny because you're putting effort in, and it gives inflections that almost seem like you're being cheeky.
Yeah.
Like you're.
Well, I
you're
wasn't
making
putting an effort there.
Oh,
I wasn't
really?
thinking about it at all.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
It came off like cheeky.
Interesting.
Like
okay.
you were making a cheeky meme.
I have to look back on that.
Yeah.
I feel like I need a harness.
You should study it frame by frame, I think, and learn from it.
Frame by frame.
But it's interesting because that's almost exactly what happened when we were buying a house, the real estate agent, Ian delivered a line that was like pretty monotonous, but it was the way that he delivered it that like the real estate agent was like howling. He thought it was so funny. And Ian had no clue why like the real estate agent was laughing.
I almost got offended.
Yeah, because he was like, "Are you laughing at me?" But he wasn't laughing at you. He was just you were funny.
Cool.
So
Rare.
no,
Maybe
not
the
rare.
real estate agent was just stupid.
No,
That could
laughed.
be, yeah.
No, because
Could be one of those Looney Tunes moments where it's like, why the fuck are you laughing at this shit? It's just like cartoon characters getting hit by anvils.
No, I laughed too. So if I laughed, then you were just being funny.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I want to get quickly back into the topic of the new year because it is upon us, and it's a clean slate. It's not actually a clean slate, but it is a new year, and so your brain can kind of make it feel that way.
Yeah, it's important.
And there's a lot of things that you can start your new year off with. I really want to make a video instead of doing like New Year's resolutions. For a while, me and my friends did resolutions where it's like, it was very like self-improvement, like grind set, wealth building type of mindset where it's like, I want 1 million subs this year. I'm going for it.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to learn to play the guitar.
Do you remember we made lists?
Yeah.
Our first New Year's together, and your whole list was like it was all YouTube related. And I find that really interesting because if you were to make a list now,
It wouldn't be.
it would look so different.
Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting.
But having said that, those resolutions are good. I like it. It's kind of fun. It's fun to do with your partner, your friends, or whoever, because it gives, and you can check up on each other. It's kind of a cool thing. Keep each other accountable. We did like a Google Doc, and we would just go in there and leave comments like, how's this going?
That's
Shit like
cool.
that. And we'd share that. So very awesome, very cool. But
Google Doc was like Discord before Discord.
yeah.
Funny.
true.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I guess you could just do something like that on Discord. But it kept it there and organized.
Yeah.
You're going to say something?
Oh, I just, when you brought up the Google Doc, I had this, it's totally unrelated, but I had this flashback memory of when we were long distance and we had a Google Doc running for who we thought was going to die in Game of Thrones and how and why.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
So I just,
that was
like,
cool. Yeah, we theorized
yeah,
things.
we had like
That was
theories
sick.
and- yeah. So
Man, our version of that now is guessing what ice cream flavors are going to come out at this ice cream parlor we go to.
yeah.
Which is, I don't know, we love doing it because we think we're being creative, and
You have to be.
Yeah, you have to be.
Because
I
like
guess.
so this vegan ice cream place, there's a few locations in Seattle and there's a few locations in Portland, Oregon. And they every month they put out a flight of 3 new flavors, and it's always at least vaguely themed around the month. So we try before like the new rollout happens to like theorize what they're gonna do. So for example, like January is happening, so we were trying to theorize like what flavors they would have for New Year's, and we both came up with champagne.
Yeah, we thought champagne would be one.
Yeah.
It's a bit obscure, and you're like, what would that even taste like? But it doesn't matter. They'll figure it out.
Yeah.
They're very highbrow, like
Yeah.
ice cream parlor.
Place. And like we had like a really rich one, like a chocolate one. But yeah, we try to like theorize like why.
Yeah,
It's
and
fun.
it's hard as well because like obviously, how do you associate flavors with some of these things? Like
Yeah.
champagne is like okay, that's as close as you can get. But what does January taste like? So you have to make some stretches, and I thought like one of them was like fresh start or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was like more of like a I don't know, like a plain vanilla ice cream or something like that. I forget what it was exactly, but
You also said that the month of January reminds you of the color red,
yes.
which I thought was so interesting because, like, in Western, especially, in the West, like, Christmas is red. But I imagine, like, in China, like, I don't know when the Chinese New Year is, actually. I don't know if it's in January. But if it is, like, I associate Chinese New Year with red.
Right.
So I'm just, like, wondering where you get the red
I mean, it's
association.
just the same. I think for me, it's a primary. It's the start of like what I
Okay.
see as like a color spectrum or something.
Interesting.
Starts at red, and then orange, and then a rainbow. Well, that's what a spectrum is.
Yeah, I
spectrum.
thought rainbow started with yellow,
I mean,
green.
that's not the way. I mean, when you draw it in school, like the classic, like fucking Lucky Charms rainbow.
Oh,
you
it's
start
red,
with red at the top, and then
orange,
orange,
yellow.
yellow, green, blue, purple.
Why did I think it was yellow,
I don't
green,
know.
blue?
That's a problem that you have. I don't think you're gonna have anyone defending you on that.
No,
one.
I probably won't. I don't know why. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But
But yeah, it's just the start of the year, so I
Weird.
don't know. I associate with red.
that's interesting.
Just makes a lot of sense to me, actually, the way you're describing it as a spectrum. Because at first I was like, wait a minute, how are you describing the 1 month that's smack dab in the middle of 2 months that are associated with red, which is Christmas and February?
True.
Because February is associated with red to me because of
Point.
like
Valentine's.
hearts and Valentine's Day. But if I think about it for a little bit, it's more of like a pink.
Yeah.
So going from red to pink, there's still like a shade of red in between that, right?
Right.
Right.
So
I associate it with blue.
same.
Yeah.
I was gonna say a light baby blue or like a
Same.
white.
Yeah.
Weird.
Baby
okay.
blue. Like a foggy blue almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the color of snow. Because that's usually, in my experience, the
Snowiest.
snowiest month.
Yeah. I think someone visualized how they see the months in colors or whatever on TikTok or somewhere, and they kind of drew it and what the I guess spectrum, or it doesn't need to be a spectrum. It's just what month is what.
Yeah.
Looks like to them, and like I think they even like visualized it with like different size of whatever it was or different shapes and all sorts of things.
like Booba
they
and Kiki.
had- yeah, exactly. Very interesting.
That's cool.
I don't. I think for me like if I had to think about what my year looks like in general, I feel like fall is very big. Like that takes up like a big area.
Winter the biggest or no?
What's that?
Then winter the biggest or smaller?
No. I think maybe it has something to do with like how much I enjoy that season. I'm not quite sure.
Oh.
Because my birthday's also during the fall time.
Yeah, that's true. Which, by the way, you're still on like everywhere. It says that your birthday's July 27th.
Good. Let them think it.
It's not.
Let them think
July
it.
27th.
Let them think it.
Everybody thinks you're a Leo.
Yeah.
Well, what happens with those, at least in my experience, is like people who make fan wikis of YouTubers, they update it like 7 years ago. And then they just never update it ever again.
Well, he did his own.
Right, but what I'm saying is that they never update the
Right.
fan
Right.
wikis for these things. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like you look at any fan wiki for a YouTuber and it's just like the oldest shit ever.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like obviously if you told people that your birthday was fake 7 years ago or something, they're still
It's-
believing it because
yeah.
of the wiki.
You
Yeah.
still get happy birthday tweets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's sad. You should.
No, I'm okay with that. It just happens at one other time of the year than
Yeah.
the
Ian.
regular time.
I don't know when Ian's regular birthday is. Like,
Well, that's like both me and Ian do not value birthdays like at all. We both have that problem where like I literally forget it is my birthday.
yeah.
And we've never put any weight in it. But I think we should
Yeah.
change that. We need
Yeah,
to
we could do that.
celebrate.
We can at least do it with just gifts.
Yeah.
God damn it. I forgot what I was... Oh,
Sorry.
I was talking about
Lists.
replacing the resolutions with the new thing, and I'm going to make a video about it, so prepare yourselves. It's going to be predictions for the new year, because I think that is the new wave, is predicting what happens in the new year. It might only last a couple of years, but that'll be the new wave.
Is it spoiling your video too much if we do a little bit of that?
Let's
now,
do a little bit. I like theorizing some of these things because I haven't completely filled out my list, but I have some ideas. One of my ideas was, what was it specifically? I think a famous celebrity with the first name Jesse is going to die.
That's a good one.
Rest in peace, Jesse Eisenberg, I guess.
Could be Jesse, not Jesse Waters. It could be. That's like a Bill O'Reilly fucking producer or something.
Okay.
I was thinking Jesse Pinkman, but that's a character. Jesse Ventura, that's the one I was thinking.
Oh, okay.
Wow, he's old enough.
Yes. And then there was another Jesse that I thought of recently, and I'm like, oh.
Jesse Jackson.
I hope not. Jesse Novak, I think. Writer on The Office.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, you're thinking of BJ Novak.
I'm thinking, he has a brother named Jesse Novak,
okay.
who is part of Old English. I think it's his brother.
Man, the world is so small.
It is.
Well, Hollywood is
Small.
small.
That's true.
Easy to get a job when your brother is a writer on The Office.
Also, I think with the loss of life, there will be new life, and there will be a pregnancy.
Trisha Paytas' second baby.
No, I don't think that'll happen. But
There's going to
think
be a
she's
lot of
already
pregnancies
pregnant.
next year.
yeah,
I think Trisha's already pregnant.
probably.
Again.
Who knows?
I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
that'd be a good guess. I mean, you should put that in your prediction list.
But if she's already pregnant, then it's...
And you should also you guess what the name is.
Oh.
That's a good one. What's the one
Bourbon.
called? Malibu Barbie?
Malibu Barbie.
And she's going to name this one Bourbon?
Bourbon. It's going to be a boy named Bourbon.
Wow. What would you name if you're Trisha Paytas and you have a boy child?
Ken.
Comment if you're Trisha Paytas.
Comment if you're Trisha Paytas.
Embody Trisha Paytas for 1 second and fucking splurt it. You've been possessed.
I don't know why, but my immediate... It's a boy, right?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I think so. I might be making this all up.
That's important to bring up.
I'm not sure, but
Let's not start rumors.
I think she's pregnant with a boy. And if she's not, I'm having some creepy clairvoyant moment. And if she does get pregnant with a boy, that's going to be even freakier.
But if it's a girl, my guess would have been to name it Paris.
Oh, that's so good.
I don't know.
Paris Paytas?
Yeah, Paris Paytas.
That's
Paris
good. I like
Paytas.
that. Paris Paytas.
That sounds like a Pokemon.
Well, Paris is a
Oh,
Pokemon.
dang, right. Parasect, it's Paris, Parasect, and Paris Paytas.
Yeah, that's the third evolution.
I think she would name it something like, if it's a boy, something like
I think Kelly. I think she'll name the boy Kelly.
Kelly is a good one. I could see Kelly. I don't know why I said Bourbon, but for some
It could
reason.
be. I mean, she named her fucking daughter Malibu Barbie.
Yeah.
Or some shit like that.
I love the name Malibu personally.
Yeah.
Trisha Paytas has only talked about me once. I didn't even know she knew I existed, but she subscribed to my OnlyFans and said that it was really mid.
A ripoff.
She said it was a ripoff on Frenemies,
Yeah.
and I cried. I was on the couch. I started
That's
crying.
kind of funny that you cried about that.
But I cried because when
Well, it doesn't
people-
feel good to be taken by surprise like that.
Yeah, well,
You're like, I'm invisible. Cool.
Yes,
I'll keep it. I'd like to keep it that way.
that's what it is. I already have a problem where I struggle with being perceived in public. So to be perceived by someone that I don't even view in my plane, like she lives in a different universe. Like something about that really freaked me out. So I cried. I wasn't like I was like, oh, I'm so
Probably
sad.
shocking.
Yeah, it was
to
just
say
like
the least.
a shock, especially because we loved Frenemies. So we were watching Frenemies, and then all of a sudden it was like, uh-oh.
Yeah. I could
a jump
see
scare.
Trisha naming the child after a religious figure, kind of like Moses, or kind of. What'd you say?
I just did the Alex Jones, the child.
The child.
I don't know what just came to mind.
Noah.
Yeah, like Noah or
Noah's
something like that. Maybe just straight up Jesus.
could be.
Oh,
I
on
don't-
the
is that
topic of
legal?
predictions, I'll make the prediction that they're going to bring back Frenemies, but just for one special episode.
Whoa,
Oh,
That's my
okay.
prediction.
that would be wild.
And I promise I have no insider information or anything if
Okay.
people are going to make that connection. I'm just guessing because I think that maybe the waters will have cooled enough
That
to
would be
where,
so wild.
I think Ethan can probably convince her to do it. And I think Ethan wants it to happen.
I think no.
think it'll happen.
I think the opposite of that. I think it's Ethan that would need the convincing. I think.
Maybe.
But who knows? I don't know.
You guys know him a lot better than I do.
We don't. We tend to for that stuff at least respect his.
We simply tend to the sheep.
We respect his space when it comes to decisions on what he's doing.
Yeah, of course.
Business wise, so we don't.
Well, I still stand by my prediction.
You stand frenemies.
I like that.
Yeah.
Dane stands frenemies. My favorite thing to do on
Don't spread that.
my favorite thing to do on TikTok is watch that one girl who uses the audio, the frenemies audio, and she like does different makeup looks and does like reenacts the audio.
Oh.
I've
It's
seen
so
like
good.
3 different ones that do that.
She's
It's very high quality.
Very
like,
high quality.
camera.
Okay, I know you're talking about her high quality camera one. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I love how that's the determining factor. Yeah, very high quality.
But I'm a stan. I'm a reenacting frenemies audio stan.
There's some good clips.
Crazy. Any other good predictions for the new year, 2024?
I'm gonna get even hotter.
Okay. Well, that's
Ian, this is where you say, that's not even possible.
it's not even possible.
There you go. See, you just got some brownie points.
Brownie points.
It's gone.
yes.
The moment's
Oops.
gone.
Darn it.
No, I actually was going to say that Ariana Grande is going to get pregnant with SpongeBob's baby.
Yeah, that was something that Ian brought up. He does believe that. That's
But not the actor,
oh no,
the cartoon.
the literal cartoon. My prediction is a volcano is going to make a big statement in America.
Oh, shit.
Statement.
Yosemite finally takes out the entire
No,
world.
I do like that's it. I think a key to a good prediction, which I should bring up in the video, is like your prediction needs to be worded in such a way that you are not saying, like you're not adding too much specificity.
Yeah.
Like what Lol Overruled did in his like 2023 prediction was ukuleles make a comeback.
Yeah.
It's like, that's so vague. Like,
Yeah.
what does that mean? It's like it definitely didn't make a comeback. Like, people aren't fucking playing them now more than ever. But they showed up in
Yeah.
popular media.
And it made a big comeback. I mean, hey,
Like, good enough. Yeah,
I don't know.
that works.
So,
but, like, Volcano making a statement,
Yeah.
that's great.
Like, and it also doesn't wish ill. Like I don't want it to erupt and
Right.
and
You don't want to be responsible for that.
consume all the grizzlies or something. Maybe it just makes a big puff.
Yeah.
And everybody goes, "Oh crap!"
Yeah.
But
Few.
yeah.
Yeah.
But so yeah, volcanoes make a big statement in the states.
Oh, yeah. I think I had another one. Oh, I said chalk makes a comeback.
Oh, okay. I like that.
I was like, chalk is an interesting one because it's like it is an old timey thing. What is the use for it? People use it on sidewalk and fucking chalkboards. But what else is there? We'll come up with something.
boy dinner.
That's cute. That was funny.
That's
I like that.
that's my prediction.
Cool. Would have been better if I made that prediction when like bouldering became more popular because chalk would have made a comeback. But it'll have a new comeback.
Okay.
People will be like smearing it under their eyes to make cool
Okay.
TikTok videos or something.
Being dead is vogue.
Care to explain?
I don't know if I explain that it's not. The,
It's too vague.
it's vogue to be dead. Like you will be slaying if you look.
No, you're already slain. You already slain.
You
at that
look
point.
slain. Yeah, you're slain.
Okay.
And you're.
Oh, they're just gonna like go deeper. You mean with like with the term slaying
Yeah,
and
you,
all
like,
this kind of stuff.
Tuberculosis is in.
Okay.
Anemia is in.
Okay.
You on like one leg left to stand on is
Hanging
hot.
on by a thread.
Yeah, that's hot.
Okay.
That's Vogue.
Hanging on by a thread. I like that.
I've always thought that Mia Goth kind of looks dead,
True. Yeah.
and she's kind of like becoming more of a fashion icon these days, right?
You know, I still don't know who Mia Goth is after we talked about it on the previous pod.
Have you seen the TikToks of the girl that's like, why don't you like me? That's a bad quote.
It's a clip from a movie. I highly doubt you've seen any movie she's in.
Okay. Well,
No.
that's fair. I don't need to know who it is.
Yeah.
I kind of like it being a mystery, to be honest.
Okay.
Okay, I think that's good for our predictions. If you guys have any interesting predictions, I'd love to hear them because maybe I'll integrate them into whatever the video ends up being. Because, I mean, hey, if we crowdsource enough predictions, it's basically manifesting. And then, as long as it's a good thing, let's not manifest
manifest
something
good things.
horrendous.
Yeah.
Manifest a volcano making a statement.
Yeah, farting. Yeah, making a statement.
Appearing before the press and making his statement known about the situation in the Middle East.
I suppose the volcano could make a statement by very blowing up in a particular way that globules of magma only hit very specific areas. Yeah.
Oh my God. So it's like just a terrorist attack from a volcano.
Right. And you're like, damn,
That's a statement.
that is a statement.
Right.
Yeah. God might be real.
Wait, I have a similar prediction actually that I'd like to make based on something I saw when I woke up this morning. Apparently, some high tide event happened in Southern California.
I was going to say, Waves made a statement.
Waves made a statement just today.
Today.
Yesterday, and the news is now circulating, and everyone's like, high tide event. But I watched a bunch of videos. It looks like a fucking tsunami.
Yeah, so apparently they said it's not a tsunami. Factually, I don't know what.
Well, I don't know what the difference is because every video I've ever seen of a tsunami, it looks exactly what just happened.
So I think
I don't know.
A tsunami is as a result of an earthquake.
Yeah, it's the plate shifting and then all of the water that is on top basically making a giant move.
So I think that they were saying that it's technically not a tsunami because there wasn't a
tsunami is defined by the source?
Yeah.
Okay.
The earthquake event. But apparently there was an earthquake in Japan that was a 6.4 earlier. So they think maybe it came
Could be related.
That. I don't know. I haven't looked into it since I was trying to look into that too because people were saying it's not a tsunami and I was like, what the fuck? Why not?
Well, as far as tsunamis go, it was smaller than usual.
Yeah.
But it was still impactful.
Terrifying.
Definitely scary to watch, especially because you don't really see a whole lot of tsunamis hitting landfall in America.
It was also traumatizing because if you've seen the video clip of the tsunami that happened where did that happen? There was that tsunami.
Haiti or Japan. Those are the two places
that
I remember tsunamis from in the last decade.
It was an Asian island country, but it was the one that killed a bunch of people. And you can watch the video clip of the first wave of water that comes in, and then everybody's like, oh, what the fuck? And they're all walking away, and it recedes, and you're like, okay, it's done. And then the second wave comes, and that's what fucks everyone up.
Right.
And you can watch this clip of, people trying to get up on the, high parts of buildings, and, that really fucked me up. So when I watched the clip of the water, because it does have the initial wave, and then the wave goes down, and you're thinking the whole time, okay, everybody better fucking move because the second one's coming, but it never comes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So interesting. Yeah, I just looked at it on my phone here, and it does look crazy violent. I lived in Southern California my whole life, went to the beach plenty of times, and I've never seen anything quite like that. I'm familiar with high tide, but it's usually pretty gradual. But I guess maybe something to do with the shifting into the El Nino and just having a lot of crazy, weird, different weather patterns and stuff. Maybe it's just a little bit different, and this just happened to be a little bit more sudden, a little bit more violent.
Yeah. It's hard to know. I don't know. We'll have to look into it.
And if it was
more.
just on, like, I looked it up and it was like almost like just a specific beach.
Ventura.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, if it just happened to that specific beach, that's definitely not particularly tsunami-like.
Right.
That is just like maybe the way that that cove or whatever it is shaped allows for a funneling,
Funneling of the wave to
of
like
the water.
be,
Yeah, exactly.
Well, my prediction, the reason why I brought it is because I think my prediction is we're going to see more of that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Like just like
Weird
shit like that
Yeah.
happening
Yeah.
weather-wise or whatever.
Shit like that really scares me because another clip I watched recently was like of a lifeguard that was talking about like when to go into the water to help somebody and when not to go in. And the clip he was showing was this guy who decided to go on the rocks of this like cove that was like
Right.
very tumultuous. And he's like on the rocks, everything seems fine. And then a wave comes up and takes him and starts pulling him along the rocks. And it looks like he's attainable. Like it looks like you should go down there and grab him.
right.
But the lifeguard was like, do not under any circumstances like go because you will be taken. And you just watch this guy like get taken away.
Jesus.
And he was like, yeah, it's the hardest decision you have to make. But if you go in,
You're both just going to
both
go.
fucked.
Yeah. Because you end up, I mean, you're in the liquid, you're in the
Yes.
soup, and you and him
and
are
it's
going.
pulling you. So when I was watching these clips of this high tide, there are some clips you see of people that are like, there's one guy, there's like 2 lifeguards or something, or lighthouse attendants, and the water comes up and you can see the guy getting pulled along the rocks. And it's scary because it's like that could be it, like, I don't know. I fucking hate that shit.
Yeah.
I hate the water.
Super creepy.
Yeah, water terrifies me.
Yeah. Sharks, waves.
Well, it's just like
riptides.
there's a huge amount of it on this
Yeah.
planet, like an insane amount. And I mean, you watch the video of just the high tide events, not even in a tsunami. Apparently, it's like just the water coming a little bit further inland. Like,
Yeah.
it destroyed a bunch of shit. Like I saw a video of somebody filming the inside of their beach. Like they had a house really close to the water.
Yeah.
Inside of the house is just completely destroyed. Like it looked like a bomb went off in there, and it's just because water got in, like up to 3 feet of water got in, and just like moved everything
Crazy.
around. I mean,
So
it's just,
terrifying.
It's just insane to think about. That just like a lot of water can fuck us up. So
We need to
easily.
fucking stop building so close to it. It's crazy how comfortable we are with that. It's like
That's why it makes me sad, like New Orleans and stuff. It's like
Yeah.
a lot of people are just gonna have to eventually
it's just
abandon.
gonna happen again.
Yeah, I
don't.
know.
It doesn't matter like how much, especially when the economy starts shitting itself.
know.
It's like this is when people fucking cut their budgets and everything, and it's not like anyone sounding the alarm. Like, by the way, guys, fucking 10 years from now, this shit is
Like,
gonna
what
be.
are they supposed to do? Right? Like Ben Shapiro's solution:
Yeah.
sell it.
Yes, just for simply
Just
sell.
move.
Simply move.
Yeah, Airbnb it for goodness sake.
Be it.
Yeah.
The scary thing is knowing that at one point the whole Earth was water, and eventually the whole Earth is probably gonna be water again. And that's
I won't be around
shitty.
for that.
I know, but somebody will, and
Yeah,
that's
well,
scary.
We're
me.
advancing that.
Whoa, Noah's Ark.
Noah's fart.
Noah's legendary fart in the Bible.
Yeah, he makes a bubble, and then everybody gets in.
Gets
so they
in the
can
fart
breathe.
bubble?
Yeah.
Every animal got in the fart bubble.
What was I gonna say? Oh, yeah, I think you're onto something there, Dane, about like the high tide events and stuff. Because there are a lot of unique, strange weather events and happenings that are like almost like undefined. Like there is such a thing as like a fire tornado. There is
I
like
know.
wildfires and
Yeah.
combination of temperatures changing and stuff meeting that like you get these like really crazy things that almost never happen.
Yeah.
But we are, I think, creating such a crazy environment that we are going to, I think, see more undefined weather events.
We're gonna see more spells
Yeah.
because fire and tornado
Yeah.
is like a spell.
Yes.
It's,
It's
like
a spell that
Pokemon-
costs 40 mana.
Pokemon move.
Yeah. No,
True.
fight. Yeah.
So I went back to Edmonton. For
Hail
Christmas.
tornado. Oh, hail tornado.
tornado.
Ice tornado. Hail tornado.
Rain
It
tornado.
would literally be sending
Rain
that
tornado.
shit sideways into your fucking house and in the side of your
Bullets.
head.
It was bullets.
That is crazy.
When we were in Edmonton one time, it started hailing, and Ian like excitedly went outside.
That's another one of my predictions.
Okay.
World record hail. There will be a new world record hailstone. It's gonna be like this big, like bigger than a monster.
Well, he ran out there without thinking about the size of what the hail could be.
Yeah,
and the hail was like this fucking big.
Yeah, it was big hail.
And Blitz followed him out there, and if one of those hailstones, it would have fucking killed him.
Dude would have been out like a light.
It was fucked up. For those who are like listening, but like can't see. It was like softball size. And then Ian was so excited about it, he went and grabbed the softball sized hail and put it in the freezer.
I was thinking we could have had a world record in our hands.
He was like storing them.
So I put them in the freezer. I was like, I gotta put these babies on ice straight away.
Then they melted.
And then we went away for a season, and when we came back, they had melted because it did a cycle or something.
The power shut off, I think, at some point, and
lost those hailstones.
Yeah, Ian was super sad about it. But I went back to, speaking of like weird weather, I went back to Edmonton for Christmas to spend with my family, and there was no snow in Edmonton.
Yeah, the north is getting the El Nino.
Yeah,
this time.
It was very weird though, because like usually in Edmonton, Halloween night, that's when it snows.
Mm-hmm. So you have end of October, I guess,
October,
into all of November, and basically all of December.
Yeah.
Wow.
No snow.
Even here's been pretty warm.
Yeah.
Compared to early years. When we first moved here, it snowed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It snowed like 6 inches.
Yeah. But to give people comfort, because I think this is important, we are in like an event right now called El Nino or El Nino, one of the two. I'm not sure which one.
El Ninex.
Yeah, that's right. And it basically is making things all cattywampus.
It's making them all wild and wacky.
Yeah, so it's not like do not lose hope in the climate change fight. Don't be like, oh, well, everything's fucked, because there are some things that are making it seem like it's changing much faster than we think it is. And the other thing that apparently is causing a shift in the water temperatures that everybody's talking about is the boats are now not allowed to use that specific fuel or chemical.
Oh, that is fucky.
That's blocking the sun rays. That was like skewing everything for a long time.
Right.
So now that is out of the atmosphere,
I remember hearing about
we're
that.
seeing some of the repercussions, but this isn't new. Like it's not.
It's always been there. We have just not been able to read how bad it is.
Yes. So just like, I think it's important to say these things because I have a lot of climate anxiety, and there's some people that I follow that help me feel like it's not too late. Hank Green is always, or John, one of the Green brothers. Hank is really good at like being a dad. Okay. So if you're ever feeling shitty and you need some hope, just fucking look up his TikToks. And then there's another person, the good environmental scientist, I think her name is, or something like that. But she also, she's very sweet, and she will give you the truth, but she'll give you a lot of hope with it, because nihilism, like climate nihilism, is not good. And also, I don't want to put anybody in a panic spiral, because I've been there and it's not fun. And there's a lot of good things that we're doing as a race.
Well, I could be wrong about this because I didn't really look into it. So
there's a race of people.
Yeah, yes, there's a race of the human race.
What?
Go ahead.
Needs to clarify that I meant the human race.
Yeah. Well, I didn't really look into this, but I heard somewhere that the hole in the ozone has actually been repairing itself lately.
Yeah.
It's actually gotten smaller as opposed to getting wider, which is like a pretty big step forward.
Yeah, there's that one. There's also a lot of reforestation projects that are doing really well.
Like Mr. Beast.
Like Mr. Beast.
And there's a lot of countries that are working towards having a zero carbon footprint, or whatever that meme is. So there are good things.
We're working on it.
We're all very aware. And the boomers are going to be phased out soon, and I think that will probably
Okay. That was
They
ominous.
will simply be phased out.
That was ominous.
We have a better population of people to be replacing them.
No, I'm just saying a lot of boomers, have a
Yes.
certain.
Well, I think they're just very
I shouldn't say boomers.
apathetic.
Boomers that are up high that are making decisions
Right.
on average are pretty apathetic.
Right. And you've heard the fucking interviews of these people.
Yeah.
You know
and
what's
they're
crazy?
very like, I haven't thought about it that way.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy about boomers?
Preach.
They're boomers are like people who basically were like 20 in 1960, right?
Yeah.
That's like hippies and shit.
Yes.
Well, some of them.
Well, I
That's
think
like the counterculture movement.
no, because
Some-
my parents were born in like the 50s, 60s. That's when they were born.
My parents
But
were
your
born
parents
in
are not
61.
boomers. Your parents are not boomers.
Oh, they're big boomers.
They're right on the cusp
definition
of
of the
Gen
boomer.
X.
How old are your
I
parents
feel
right
like-
now?
63.
Fuck if I know.
I don't think
Yours
that's-
are like 63, 60.
No, I think that's
In the
like
60s.
that's older Gen X, I think.
Yeah. It's like on the cusp between boomer and Gen X.
Okay.
But
Boomer's like 70, 80 right now.
Damn.
the thing with boomers is that it is known for like the social movements that were happening at that time, but you have to remember that like the population that was like speaking out against and rebelling unfortunately does not represent the population that is controlling things and has the money.
Very true.
Which is why I wanted to clarify that like it's the boomers with power that I'm talking about, not the boomers that can't retire.
Right.
You know what I mean? But the boomers
Yeah,
that can't retire.
I know what
can't
you're
do
talking about.
anything.
I just think that it's wild that like an entire generation that's defined by like basically inventing counterculture as we still know it today.
Yeah.
Like a whole lot of like what the idea of like a counterculture movement
Yeah.
is basically like taking the hippie movement and changing it that's the blueprint basically.
Yeah.
And to think like, oh, now people think of boomers and they just think of like old people who don't want any change at all and they're just like mad about like things.
I also
changing.
think though that boomers also have that problem with like because of the Cold War and they were told like Cuba's gonna fucking nuke us and the end of time is coming and then nothing happened. They probably learned like, oh, why would I worry about this shit? Like they always tell us something crazy is gonna happen and then it doesn't happen. Like a lot of them probably spent a lot of their life like worrying that they were gonna die at any second. And then when they didn't die, they were like, oh, everybody's dramatic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's a great point. That is like, I feel like that's very much why, the way they are.
Yeah, the Cuba
is
Missile
it doesn't-
Crisis.
Yeah, I mean, even with the financial crisis
Yeah.
and all of that, like, sure, the housing market dipping is a scary thing for a lot of people. A lot of people lost money or whatever, but still just like kept
Worked
creeping. It's
out.
like, well, we didn't,
Kind of.
you know. Yeah.
My mom, she
Oh.
bought a house during the dip.
Really?
Awesome.
She got in while the getting was good. Now her house is worth like 5 times more than she bought it.
Such
Love
a
that.
large brain move. Well, I
I
as
mean,
a
she's
Canadian
not going to sell it. I keep trying to tell her. I was like,
should sell
you
it
should sell it and get a way better house.
or reverse mortgage it at least or something. I don't know.
I think she's fixed it up too much.
That's also comfort. I think that's another aspect people forget a lot of the time is like you living in that house that's worth like that has appreciated in value. It's been like a stable asset for you for so long. It's kind of like that, you know, having however much in the bank. It's like, oh, that feels good knowing that if shit hits the fan, I'll be all right.
Yeah.
That's
Still
true.
got the house.
Yeah.
I think interestingly, as a Canadian, like the 2008 housing crisis, like we heard about it and we learned about it in school, but Canadian economy is always like affected by American economy, but never like as hard.
Right. Not as
So-
direct.
Yeah, it's not as direct. So like I remember living through that time and like hearing about all these things, but like no adults around me were really affected by it. I wasn't affected by it. So it's one of those things like I associate like 2008 with like Obama and the housing crisis, but I'm a Canadian,
Right.
which is kind of interesting. We hear these things, but it didn't do anything for me or to me.
Remains like pretty vague in your
Yeah,
head.
it's just this weird concept that I was told to care about, and I never really.
So before we move on past this topic, I want to get something from each of you. What is one thing, Anisa, that you appreciate about the boomer generation?
Oh,
Or just name a boomer.
Name a boomer.
It's like those TikToks. Name a
one.
person over 70.
The only boomer I can think of is Buffett. But I don't
Warren
appreciate
Buffett?
him. Yeah, I don't appreciate Warren
You can
Buffett.
think of more boomers than that.
You don't have a grandparents?
Cher.
Cher. Oh, that's a great one. What do you
Yeah.
appreciate
You don't have
about Cher?
grandparents?
I don't know. They died a long time ago.
Oh. You have
Yeah.
old. Do you have old parents?
No,
You can say your parents.
no. I think
Okay.
they're old Gen X.
Yeah, okay.
Well, my grandparents. Okay. Well, so my grandparents, unfortunately, cancer and Alzheimer's is
Oh,
like
gotcha. Okay.
yeah. But I will say my grandfather on my mom's side, my grandpa Matt, he wanted to fight everyone all the time. And my mom told me this story recently. I just like bringing up my grandpa because I want him to like live on because he's a fucking badass.
Yeah.
He like immigrated from Ireland as like a Catholic bastard, basically. Anyways, the last thing he ever did before he was hospitalized for his cancer was somebody took his parking spot.
Is this going to come back to what you appreciate about?
Yes.
Okay.
Somebody took his parking spot and he got out. The guy was in pain, clearly, because he died like a month later. My grandpa got out of his car and fucking wanted to fisticuffs with this guy.
Oh, so old
wanted to
school
fight him.
justice.
Yeah, he took everything into his own hands.
Nice.
Even when he wasn't feeling his best,
Right.
he still wanted to throw down.
Okay.
And I appreciate that about him
Right.
and boomers in general.
That's fair. I like that.
There
That's
you
a
go.
good, yeah, walk it off type of mentality.
Yeah, rub some
sometimes.
dirt on it.
Spit some ass into it.
I mean, it definitely probably shortened his life,
Right.
that mentality.
There you
But
go. Live fast and hard, though.
he lived fast and hard, and I will always remember him as I'll never remember him as being in a hospital bed. You know what I mean? Like, he's a feisty little guy. No,
Appreciate that.
he's a big guy.
Yeah.
He's really big, actually.
You.
So, Dane, what do you appreciate about those people?
Those people.
Those people. What?
Sounds fun.
Yeah.
What do you mean, you people?
Those types of people. The old type.
Yeah, the old type. I appreciate. I mean, like, I don't get any benefit from this, obviously, but I talking to my grandparents and like thinking about how they are. I'm glad that they had a good life
Yeah.
because generations after obviously haven't had as good of a life, but I'm glad that they got away with it.
That feels so. That is like this, like the
That
what's
is-
the word?
Yeah, that's cunt.
Yeah, you're serving cunt, Dane.
Look, I know that sounds sarcastic, but
Yeah.
I'm being genuine because honestly, life is
Someone
It's
getting
horrible.
benefit
Yeah.
from it is good.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
In general, life is bad. I mean,
True.
like
Yeah.
No,
Life
I
is
agree.
it's better to
suffering.
be alive than dead. But I mean, life it's hard for a lot of people, and it seems like the boomers had the best life recently. So good for them. I'm not trying to be mean,
They
but
were the
good
peak.
for them.
That was peak.
Right, right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Somebody
admire
got a
them.
good time out of living, and that's cool.
That's crazy to think that basically boomers stood at the top of the pyramid, the human pyramid.
Yeah.
They got to be the
Right.
flyer.
They got to have fun.
Yeah.
They got to basically have all the sex without any of the AIDS.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, that was right before.
Right before. Yeah.
But syphilis.
I will say though, there's a lot of things that they are missing out on that we have to appreciate. They might,
Like-
good for them. They
Yeah.
aren't going to see these things as a benefit, like being able to freely come out of the closet,
True.
or express yourself in a
That's
different
true.
way.
Oh, that's
They don't have
actually-
that freedom.
You're bringing up a really good point. I guess to Dane's point, if you're a straight white male and or female, less so
And you're not
female,
closeted in any sort of way,
straight,
right?
white, and come from a good family, good economic status, you lived a good life in that time period.
I have a counter argument.
Wait. Actually, sorry. Can I just take back?
oh.
I forgot. It was the 50s, so not white female, just white male.
Okay.
No, but boomers generally were like in their prime, like 18 to like 30 during the 60s, right?
Right.
So I'm
Maybe.
imagining like that's when they had all of their fun. Was in
Okay.
the 60s.
In that
I will say
Yep.
our timeline of what a boomer actually is, people, could be way off. So
No, I think
just
Dane's
keep
correct.
That. I'm just saying, because we're gonna get on buds. They're
No.
gonna give us the facts.
Yeah.
And
Well, to be
we
clear,
will read your facts and hear your facts.
well, it's also worth mentioning that like generations is often like not a
Nebulous.
precise science anyway.
Right.
But
That's true.
for the purpose of this conversation, the boomers that we're referring to are the people who are what we were referring to, which is like
Old enough not for us to have too much empathy toward.
But I think it's important to emphasize, like, so the hippie movement I would like associate very closely with, like, or I'd say like the version of that now is like BLM movement and like people that are kind of like in that sphere, and like there's a lot of teens that are like very pro LGBTQ plus,
Yeah.
very like aware of like what's going on, but there's also teens that are
Not that.
experiencing a fuck
True.
ton of transphobia, a fuck ton of racism, especially online. And I want to say that, like,
Yeah, that's such a good
the
point.
boomers, when they were going through the hippie movement, you have to remember that
Right,
other
we're
shit was
just
still
seeing
happening.
it. Yeah, we're seeing a pie slice of the whole
pie
thing.
slice
Yeah.
that media loves to like, we weren't there.
Mm-hmm.
But I follow this old trans woman who was talking about how she was like, you don't see old trans women because we were killed. We were exterminated. I survived. I'm the one who survived.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important to remember that I think that you had a great time if you were a very specific type of person.
Right.
And you had the peak human experience.
Right.
You got
There
the
was,
trophy.
Yeah, there was an optimal path for a particular type of person.
Yeah.
and those people rode it.
They rode it hard,
Yeah.
and they're still riding it.
Uh-huh.
They're
Part of me though feels like
They're in subs
It
right
might
now.
be sweet.
getting blown up.
Exactly for the end of their journey to be, like you said, fast and hard and pretty fucking regrettable in a lot of ways.
Sorry.
Where it's like,
fucked.
you know,
Rest in peace to the child that didn't
Yeah.
want to go. Why? I like how Dane's getting so many opportunities.
yeah.
To
He's literally
the voice.
analog soundboard.
Yeah, Dane, you're our
Acoustic
analog
soundboard.
soundboard. But yeah, okay. So you appreciate that white men got to live it up in the.
Oh, but I have a counter to like you saying like, oh, gay people didn't have as much fun. This is a bit of a Louis C.K. joke. I'm shamelessly stealing it, but I do think that there's some truth to it. I think it might have been a little bit more fun to be gay when it was not.
Sneaky.
True.
Because like if you're in like a gay relationship when it's like taboo, maybe it's a little bit more like risque and like exciting, you know?
Oh yeah.
And now it's like,
Terrifying.
now you're just married to your gay husband. It's like kind of lame in comparison.
Yeah,
right?
drugs aren't fun when they're legal.
Exactly.
Drugs.
That's kind of the mindset
I like
I'm
that.
approaching with this. So like, yeah, of course it was probably worse for people who are not straight white, you know,
Yeah.
American citizens.
All right, let's make being straight illegal
Why,
Yeah,
so
then
you
it'll be
can
more
have fun?
so
Yeah.
we can have more fun.
Someone can chase you down with a chainsaw.
That's such a white privilege to be like, I want to be oppressed.
Yeah, I know. It's literally like peak like white people.
I think it would be fun.
That's so fucked. It's like cat and mouse.
Okay.
I want cat and mouse IRL.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Thank you so much for watching.
What the hell? Wait, no. Before we cut it off, what do you appreciate? You can't put that on
What?
us and then
Oh.
not say
Oh yeah,
what you.
before we go, what do you appreciate about boomers? It'll be the last thing we say.
Okay, so what I appreciate is that they were responsible, I think, in a lot of ways, of creating the '90s. A lot of the '90s content, and I really appreciated being born during that time.
When kids were getting
because-
slimed.
Kids were getting
Yeah,
slimed
boomers
with
invented all that.
green slime. I liked the networks that I was watching as a kid. I liked the cartoons.
The horror movies.
Yeah. I don't know. It just like it was a really cool time. They really put their foot on the fucking gas pedal, and there was a lot of bullshit that came out of it.
True.
But we do have to acknowledge that they were like, we need a TV in every home. Everyone needs their own this. Everyone needs their own that.
Consumerism through the roof.
And there's a lot of cool shit, and we bond, like all of us bond because of that connection. Because we all had a TV.
Counter
all three
argument.
of us.
If all of us went into the woods and shot slingshots at trees and did folk dance,
Right.
we would all
also
bond over
connect
that.
on that.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, not saying that we should be.
Yeah, but we bonded in like some very specific identical life lessons where we can compare and contrast an episode of SpongeBob, and I'm like, oh, I thought that episode was about
The Seven Deadly Sins.
the Seven Deadly Sins, and you can be like, actually, that episode was more about childhood trauma or something, some bullshit.
Okay.
Ian, I love that.
Yes.
I think that's a really great thing to point out because I think a lot of people forget that like a lot of the iconic content of your generation wasn't made by your generation. It was actually made by the one before it.
Right.
And I think a lot of Zoomers out there got to remember that.
I have something to say.
Us millennials,
Right.
we're making your shit. So you better respect us.
I have something to say to boomers before we leave.
Yeah.
If any boomers are watching,
Okay. I don't agree
we're-
with that.
We're going to have to censor
I
that.
don't agree with that. Also, if you are in the boomer age category, tell us one of your biggest fucking gripes.
life regrets.
With
Biggest life regret.
I don't know. I don't know how many boomers are watching. It feels really even weird to say that. I'm like, stop watching. That's what I feel like saying.
I would think. Listen.
But actually, you're woke as fuck
I was
if you're
gonna
watching
say,
this shit.
I had a wonderful conversation with a boomer woman who like loved my tattoos. She was so sweet.
Yeah.
I like those boomers, but again, those are the boomers that
I know,
can't
you're
retire.
right. I need to look at the pie slices more appropriately because I definitely have a lot of prejudice toward older folk.
Yeah.
Because
great.
I've attached a lot of the powers that be,
Gordon Ramsay,
a lot of Gordon Ramsays to
all the other boomers.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of chefs under Gordon Ramsay, right?
Gordon Ramsay. What's the other guy?
Who are you talking?
Yeah, what are you talking? Why did you just bring up Gordon
Ramsay
just now?
Bolton?
Ramsay Bolton. Wait, is that the
doing it.
financial guru?
Okay, my God, what is wrong with this woman? Okay,
Who's the financial
the way
guru?
you ruined my career this episode, this week, is mixing up Gordon Ramsay, the professional chef, who says it's raw. Ramsay Bolton from Game of Thrones, who feeds people to his dogs and cuts people's genitals off. And then Dave Ramsey, the financial advisor who makes viral videos on YouTube scolding people for not being responsible with their money.
Counter-argument.
Or buying Starbucks.
Counter argument.
Yeah.
They're all the same people, and they're just
Right. Yeah, okay.
same vibe.
Yeah.
Feeds people to dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Yells at people who have very unfortunate situation they're in a bad place for their financial
All three of those people would tell people not to buy Starbucks.
They all publicly shame
Right.
and enjoy it.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
There's
well,
a connection.
I think this is a great way to end the pod. Thank you, babe. This happens all the time, by the way.
It does.
Specifically with that one, though.
Yeah,
not
You've brought up that you have face blindness before.
Yeah.
I do have face blindness.
Well, that one, she
but-
just starts with the word Ramsey,
Yeah.
and she's like, where are we?
Yeah, that's
Let me fucking get it.
that's just how my brain works, though. Where are we?
Yeah.
And then I keep grabbing until something
yeah.
makes sense.
Gordon Ramsay. Yeah, so that is going to do it for this portion of the pod. This was a little longer than usual, but you'll get an extra 30 minutes, and we will also consider the idea of making this part of the show longer, hour and a half, 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
Holy crap.
And then we'll film another show that will be exclusive to the patrons. And okay, and with that, we bid you adieu.
Hasta la vista.
Hasta la vista.
Hasta la vista.